more to Pat and the healers. Like, this is
I'm eating right now, so like, I might be talking less, but like, just talking. Still might be talking sometimes.
Mom's on the blue team, but she was born a long way from here.
If you were in a family and you all
Stay 69.
Australia, or like when we go for the Maroons
But
and
it's
Blues, you would never make someone watch this by themselves. That would be like the most unsportsmanship thing that you could ever do in Australia. You would all watch this together. Yes, you would cheer for different teams, you would wear different colours, but you would never segregate someone to be all by themselves and be lonely. We're gonna fuck ya!
Dad, don't go, Mom.
And we know that Lucky's dad
Wait.
Pat isn't that kind of
I want to make a bone meal farm because I really need bones.
Do you really think that he
Well, I mean,
have
yeah.
invited his wife over to hang out with them all together, even though they come together at halftime? The situation happens again where he could have invited her over as well. So I think this is kind of one of those situations where it really proves the point that they wanted to put a very specific, deep meaning in this episode too. Because it's a really great way of showing that split and divide by showing the two separate households, and that
I'm coming to achievements. I'm gonna say what for achievements.
they can't all just go back to the same place together. It really is trying to show that idea of split, division, divorce, basically. Now, does that mean that Pat and Janelle are divorced? No, not at all. Again, this is just meant to be an allegory
Halfway.
for it. It's not actually an episode about
There.
getting the divorce, like we see in a lot of Bluey episodes, where it's just giving us the idea and the theme.
Come on, do this one.
Like evolution in Flat Pack and the idea of like growing up and getting older and everything like that. It's the same thing in this episode. It's really just showing us what this could be a deeper meaning for and how it can connect to a lot of people in a different way. And I think in a different way is also a key point. A lot of people saw this as a divorce situation or a divorce allegory, but this could be used for any kind of situation where a child has to choose between two parents. Could be for two separate sports teams, of course. Could be for an argument. It could be about religion. It could be about a lot of different things. Divorce, though, of course, is a lot more prominent these days, and a lot of people are affected by it. So it seems quite obvious that this would be the main idea and theme of it that a lot of people would pick up on. And Chucky really represents it because he has to choose someone to be loyal to in the end, and the third party is kind of forcing this choice of him, and in that case, it is love.
How? I might need bamboo. That's the only thing I actually need to like. If I get bamboo, I can make an infinite fuel farm.
And a lot of times, divorce can be really nasty. It can result in parents being really negative towards one another, using the kid against each other, them fighting in front of each other. And Bluey, of course, doesn't show this, but they do like little hints of this leading up to that choice.
I should do it.
On the purple team, but your
I can.
mom's on the blue team, then what team are you on? Mum said I could choose on.
And they do this through kind of that idea of like the benefits of being on one team, or like the benefits of picking one parent over the other.
Let me use flint. I should have a lot of flint.
One parent is
You
the
have
fun
flint?
parent.
Come on.
They're doing all the fun things like dancing. The other one has all the fun food like the popcorn.
Maybe I should be in the blue team. Yeah, they've got popcorn.
And again, sort of that idea of like which parent is more fun, which parent is more cool. And even Janelle says, yeah, let's give it to your dad, and sort of like makes them like yell out at their dad. But they were doing that to her at the start as well. Come on, let's give it to your dad. So it kind of shows in a very Bluey, happy, playful way some of those really dark, negative things that can happen during divorce.
So
or
bad.
fighting against each other.
Do you know what colour you're going to be, Chucky? I don't know. Whenever Dad's colour is happy, Mum is sad. But
Big
whenever
egg.
Mum's colour is happy,
Don't think this on me.
However, when they get back together, of course, this is when I think Bluey is really trying to show a positive way of dealing with these situations. Janelle actually talks about sharing Chucky's time between her and her dad and just continuing like how they were, and that's fine. And Chuckles, you're gonna keep watching a bit with me and a bit with your dad? And Pat even agrees to this. He thinks that this is practically fine as well, just them sharing Chucky back and forward.
because you can't keep changing.
You can if he wants to, Lucky.
However, the third party comes in this situation, a judge usually in real life, but this time it's Lucky, and he is forcing Chucky to make a choice.
No, you have to choose one side.
Do whatever you want, sweetheart. Which of course is what can happen in real
Yeah.
life as well. Even though there might be like a co-parenting agreement where the child is constantly moving back and forward, a third party might come in and say no, there has to be a more permanent option or a And this to me, like, I'm not a child of divorce. I know friends who obviously have divorced parents, things like that. But this moment was heartbreaking. Even I teared up in this and could see that this was more than just picking a sports team. Because the look of excitement on each parent's face when they thought that Chucky was going to choose them, and then even when Chucky makes the choice and he chooses his dad, Pat, the look of sadness on both of their faces at the same time is heartbreaking.
No.
I'll be purple.
I think again that shows that obviously Pat loves his wife Janelle because he has that same empathy that he can see how
This-
sad she is that Chucky chose him. But this is
I'm
again
going to be
shows,
doing-
like positive reactions.
Going to
the
get some wood
idea
from
of
now.
divorce. Janelle then affirms Chucky's choice. She tells him it's okay. She shows him that she is sad but that she wants him to be happy.
I'll be purple.
No worries, sweetie. Good luck, but not too much.
Thanks, Mum.
And then, of course, they leave and she leaves. And again, this is one of those situations where it shows that this is not just about the state of origin. Because as if you would do that to your wife in that situation where you see how sad and upset she is and you wouldn't just say, yeah, why don't we all just go back and watch together? Like, that would be the obvious thing that would happen in this situation if it was just about sports. But of course, it's not. They made a really clear point of showing the parents going in opposite directions, Chucky having to choose one direction to go in, and not being, them all being able to come together, basically. So it really is all about the visuals here, kind of hammering home that deeper meaning in that scene. And again, if you didn't cry in that scene or like tear up just a little bit for Janelle, like, I don't know, man. I certainly did. And again, I saw it straight away as an idea for divorce or when a child has to choose, a parent has to leave the other one behind or disappoint them. You
This-
can see on Chucky's face, like, him understanding that he's disappointed his mum and him kind of like grappling with that idea. Now, of course, if the show had just ended there, that would have been pretty rough. But this is Bluey. It always comes with a happy ending, and again, it's showing a happy way to resolve these kind of problems. Now, in this case, I don't think they're showing that like divorced parents should get back together. I don't think that's what they're trying to show. But I think they're trying to show what the idea of a good parenting team can be, and that's the idea of them coming back together for the gold team. In this case, gold being Chucky.
What's going on? There's a gold team. There's a gold team. What?
So they're coming back together for Chucky's team to support him. And again, it's a positive reaction to how to deal with divorce. The parents came back together
Wait,
to be able to
the mother.
for the best thing for their child and to make them feel happy and loved and supported.
There's another game of football and there's a gold team. And Mum and Dad are both on it. Really? They're on the same team? Yeah, we're all on it.
But at the end of the day, even though they're cheering for their own teams, it's really important that they come together to cheer for their own child as well. Because it's important that you come and support the ones that you love even when you disagree. And that's why I think this episode is so fantastic and showing that allegory of divorce, or at least the allegory of when a child has to make a very difficult decision between two parents and knowing that they'll disappoint one of them. It shows the making of that choice. It shows the disappointment that can happen, and it shows positive and affirming reactions to that to help support the child in that situation because they are not an adult, they don't understand a lot of the time what's going on, but the adults do, and they can make positive affirmations in that situation.
Wow.
But what do you guys? Let me know what you think. This always
Everyone, hope you're all doing great today.
brand new cinematic.
We're going to be talking about the episode The Decider and sort of the controversy about it, but in particular about how it could be an
It's nighttime.
Liberty Mutual customizes.
Wait, am I in one of those Liberty Mutual commercials where they stand in front of the Statue of Liberty and talk about how Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need?
Yes.
What happens in this one?
Seagulls.
Oh, I like it. How are you doing?
What the thing? Going force is like carrots.
Factor meals deliver pro-level nutrition with chef-crafted flavors. They make it easy to feed your performance. Factor. Like a pro.
Now, Bluey is getting the Hollywood treatment.
The feature film will be 3D animation, so CG. So it will, have a different look to the TV series.
Hang on. G'day, you cheeky dogs. It is official. The Bluey movie is not going to look like the TV show. Now, this has already been a bit of a hot debate about whether or not the Bluey movie should have been in 2D instead of in 3D CGI animation, which, yeah, it is. We have confirmation of that from multiple sources, including Screen Queensland, as well as the animation studio that will be doing the movie. And we also have some sort of sad news as well about the Bluey animators, as they will not be working on this movie. So we are going to discuss all of that and why they chose to go this route of doing 3D animation instead of sticking with what they have.
I'm looking for horses.
And by now, most fans probably know that, yeah, Bluey is animated in a 2D style using cell action. We got a nice little sneak peek of this at the very end of the episode Puppets, showing just how long it takes them to animate Bluey, but also how they do it as well.
I feel like this.
Wow, that was a weird dream.
Now, of course, though, we have seen the official blog post talking about the movie, and it did state in that it would be CGI
I feel
animated.
like-
On top of this, we also finally got confirmation that Cosmic Dino Studios is going to be the studio that will animate the Bluey movie. Now, they mostly do full 3D CGI animation, which makes it again seem like the Bluey movie is going to look more like the SpongeBob movies than the original 2D style.
This summer, prepare to be out of your comfort zone.
Cosmic Dino Studios even announced this by putting up a job posting for the Bluey movie. They put this up on Instagram for artists across all CG departments to join their team. And on Screen Queensland, they stated that they were specifically looking for 3D animators. And no, it doesn't look like any of the 2D animators from Bluey Season 1, 2, or 3 are going to be working on this movie. And I say that because I did reach out to some of the ones that I know that are still working at Ludo Studios, as a lot of them are not working there anymore. It takes 2 seconds on Instagram to check and you can see that. This is also backed up by the fact that a lot of the current Ludo Studio animators and
Where are the horses?
posted on their Instagram stories this post from Cosmic Dino Studios asking for people to apply to this job.
Oh, hey, what's up?
We're here for the job interview.
Job interview?
It's saying work.
Work. Work.
So it seems like even though they're encouraging people to apply, they all do seem pretty happy and stoked that Cosmic Dino Studios will be animating the Bluey movie. And that's kind of understandable because just like Ludo Studios, Cosmic Dino Studios is also a Brisbane-based company with Australian animators.
$35 million into our economy, 130 jobs, all produced here in Queensland.
So this is kind of going to guarantee that Bluey will still have its really like authentic Australian feel
What the
to
beast.
it, as well as like the Brisbane feel of it as well. But visually, we don't really know what it's actually going to look like. But if you do even just like a quick search on Google Images of like Bluey 3D animated, some of it's kind of like
Guys.
horrifying and cursed, but if you look at some of like the generated
You need
images
guys.
of that idea, some of them are kind of cute and cozy, so maybe it can work. Now, even people on Reddit have also talked about this idea of it being 3D animated, as well as like confirming it from like sources that they know as well. But many of the commentators
Settle.
did say that they really hope that they're able to sort of translate it, kind of like how the Peanuts movie or even My Little Pony was translated across from sort of being 2D into that sort of 3D style and still keeping that warmth, kind of cozy feeling to it. And if Bluey can do that, then I think that they might be okay. Now, I will say that it looks like a lot of money is being dumped into this movie. Specifically, at the moment, $35 million, which has gone straight to Cosmic Dino Studios.
Money.
Now, I assume that most of this money has basically come from BBC and Disney, as they are, of course, backers of this movie. And Cosmic Dino Studios announced they
Come
use this
on.
money basically to create a whole new facility to help animate the Bluey movie. This includes a 40-seater, 4K plus HDR cinema, new cutting-edge technology and offices, a major upgrade for a smaller company that had its first breakthrough movie, The Sloth Lane, only last year. So, why 3D though? Why change it off a formula of the most watched show basically in the world? Well, basically it could be because of season 4. Now, like I said, whilst most Bluey animators will not be on the Bluey movie project, this does leave them free and open to animate Bluey season 4 at the same time.
Yes.
However,
Yes.
there will be no official confirmation of Bluey season 4. There has been no greenlit, there is no production currently happening. There has only just been like the constant begs, there will be more, little leaks and things like that. But there is still no completely and utterly official statement saying the season 4 has started.
This is confusing.
But Bluey makes way too much money for BBC or even Disney to let there not be a season 4. So we know that, yeah, it will happen. And Australia's news, specifically 10 News,
Come on.
did release this little clip stating that they would be working on season 4 at the same time as the movie.
Except new episodes of the TV show are on the way. They'll be made at the same time as the film.
So maybe Channel 10 has an extra source that I am not aware of, and that they accidentally let that slip. But it does give us maybe a little more hint as to
Come on,
what's
Ozzy.
happening in the future for Bluey. Now, another reason they could be choosing the 3D route as well is because 3D does seem to be more theatrical.
Oh yes, I've heard very good things about this production.
The majority of children's films these days are done in 3D CGI
Nah,
animation
get your-
style. That's why Disney and Pixar completely use that style and they don't use 2D animation anymore at all. This would also, of course, count into like the budget thing as well. It is easier and faster to do it in 3D than it is to do it in 2D. However, I would love to see some sort of like hybrid style, like what we see with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, where it uses both 3D and 2D styles, or even the new K-pop Demon Hunters.
Hell nah, get the thing out of my.
I still think that could be a really amazing way of doing Bluey. However, this like 3D, 2D mesh style is very specific to Sony Studios, not Disney, so maybe we wouldn't be seeing that. But as someone who grew up on 2D animation, and the 2D style being one of the many reasons that I love and adore Bluey, I can completely understand any outrage about changing the style so significantly for the movie. The audience, of course, is much larger than just little toddlers watching the show. We are all aware of this by now. It has a massive audience. It wouldn't reach like the #1 most watched show on Disney if it was just little kids watching it. We already know that parents love it. I love it. Obviously, I'm a parent of 2 kids.
Me too,
And
bro.
also,
I'm a 10-year-old.
older adults also relate to the show because of the more heavier and darker themes that it does bring up, and like the counseling vibes, I guess, that it gives a lot of people and helping to work through trauma. Those of us who are older and more nostalgic for that 2D style are going to be attached to that 2D style as well. So I can see where the outrage of that comes from, and why some people on Reddit as well feel that same way too. It's one of the draws of Bluey is that nostalgia. But considering that this is about $1 at the end of the day, I would not be surprised if Disney was the one that really pushed for it to be in this 3D animation style instead of this traditional 2D style. And that might have been one of their negotiating points in helping to fund and back this movie.
Well, I'm enjoying this very much.
I have some minor quibble.
But, Cheeky Dogs, let me know what you think down below.
Can I make
Do
it
you
here?
want Bluey to be 2D or 3D? What do you think of the different 3D styles that it could take on? Do you think it's going to look cursed? Do you think it'll be warm and cozy? I want to know all your thoughts and feelings
Cursed.
in that comment section down below. And, of course, while you're down there, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, and that bell for notifications so you know whenever I release any other Bluey But until my next video, I have picked you cheeky dogs out a few other videos that maybe you would like to watch, and I'll see you all in another video. Bye! Oh, come on! The sunscreen's in the bathroom. Let's go!
Okay, Mum.
I want to start relaxing. G'day, you cheeky dogs. The UK has finally gotten the Bluey episode Relax on CBeebies this week. So here is my compilation video of all of the hidden Easter eggs, behind the scene details, and censorship from this episode.
We're crafting this. This guy has 3 things. I need this stuff. Whoa! Oh! Oh! Babalaska.
Oh, what? We're going around in circles.
G'day, you cheeky dogs. This is my Bluey Cubby episode compilation video of all of the fun facts, hidden details, every little thing that you didn't know about this episode to celebrate it finally coming out in the UK on CBeebies this April. If you're watching live, jump into the live chat as well to leave a comment, and feel free to ask me anything as well, and in that comment section down below. With that being said, let's jump.
Hang on. Rusty, one more.
Okay.
G'day, cheeky dogs. This is the top 5 theories that have come out of the Bluey episode Cricket from season 3, and we're doing this to celebrate it finally being released in the UK on CBeebies this month. So let's get started then with number 5. The 75-year-old versions of Bandit and Chili be in season 4 of Bluey, because these designs have just been officially released thanks to the behind-the-scenes interviews from the official Bluey accounts. So let's dive into these designs and some of the details from the interview and my predictions for season 4.
I'm going to be a can't be anything, Granny.
Now, Faith Chen was the
Oh,
animator
no.
behind the adult versions, and she did confirm that the oldest ones were in their 70s.
I think at first I designed them a little bit too old. They look like they're in their 70s.
Now, both of the older versions of Chili and Bandit have more round and larger bodies that seem to be similar in shape to Nana's, but Faith did say that her inspiration was actually from young Bob, not Nana.
I think a lot of the inspiration came from Bob.
Alright, so you want me to say your name so you can talk again? Well, you're dreaming, mate.
But unlike how Bob literally changed colours on one ear from blue to red, all of Bandit's markings and colours stayed the same, except for his final 75-year-old version, which had a few new little spots, but otherwise the colours were just more muted and pale.
I've done the black.
And I think this is what Faith meant when she said inspiration, is that it was more to do with the change in how vivid the colours were from the younger to the older version of Bob.
Pass me a red one, Bobber.
Oh, but I need the red ones.
Oh, you've got plenty.
Same with Chili. Her older versions become more
They like
muted
this.
with their colours, she gets a few extra brown spots, but the only major difference is that she has different glasses with her 75-year-old version. Overall, they seem to have gone with the idea of a more scruffier fur means older, which Grandpa Bob and Mort both show in their designs as well, whereas Nana is more straight and less fluffy.
The process was like, okay, I give them the most extreme version at first, and they could point out what they like, what they don't like, and then
Okay.
slowly dial them back
Jump
to where they
down.
actually want.
Now, as for whether we would see this in season 4, there are 2 options, I think. One would be the stereotypical flash-forward scenes that we've already had in Bluey episodes multiple times before, so nothing really longer than 30 seconds. Or it could be like Baby Race, where the whole episode is being told from elderly Chili and Bandit's perspective, and them looking back on something that happened with Bluey and Bingo when they were around 4 and 6 maybe. Another possible story arc could be about aging differently. And I think this could tie in really well with something Faith Chen said as well about how she got emotional when designing Chili and Bandit as elderly characters.
I don't know, it gave me emotion seeing them old, and they're just not as energetic as before, and kind of reminds me my own family as well, and like how we all age.
It could be a beautiful way of looking at the idea of how quick life can go, and how to interact with elderly family members who aren't as energetic as, say, Nana and Bob are.
Bingo, look at this!
Look at this, Bingo!
Or showing as well that we do all age and that we age differently, and that's okay. I think this would make for a beautiful story arc focusing on the energy side of aging and trying to still be active in children's lives, but in different types of ways. So let me know down below what you think of these possibilities for stories for season 4, and if you have any story ideas of how they could use these older designs.
It looks so
please let
bad
me know
on
in
the
the comments
water
down below
like
as
this.
well. I love to read your story ideas when I do these prediction videos. I have already previously done a whole evolution of Chili and Bandit's designs as well, so if you'd like to check them out, I will leave them linked up here, and I will see all of you cheeky dogs in my next video. Bye!
I think this is gonna be a great year. What's the worst that could happen? New year, same old habits. I got you.
Like this. You guys look sick.
I gotta fall sick more time.
La Airbnb es mucho más
Come on,
que un
horsey.
Airbnb. Encuentra un chef que te cocine, o un masaje para después del esquí, y hasta un yogi que te pondrá los pies en la tierra. Alojamientos, experiencias y servicios. Ahora en Airbnb.
Princesses, eh? Is that where you sit in a castle and have tea and cakes?
Freeze!
G'day, you cheeky dogs. Today we're going to be talking about the Bluey episode, The Adventure. We are going to be going through some of like the weird and crazy fan theories with this episode, as well as the movie aspects, the theming of it, and a deep dive into some of the Easter eggs and hidden details that you cheeky dogs might have missed. But if you love Bluey as much as we do here, don't forget to hit that like button down below, that subscribe button, and that bell notification so you know whenever we release any other Bluey videos. So starting off with like the fan theories on this one, and there's two in particular. The first one is one of those very stereotypical theories, and that's that at the very end scene when Chloe like freezes her dad in the car, apparently he crashes his car and then they both end up in a coma and everything in Bluey has basically been a dream. Which I of course don't believe in, but I do find it funny that this theory has come up and it was up on Reddit as well, and almost every single fandom has this kind of theory attached to it. So it kind of makes me laugh that Bluey has it too. Now the second theory though that is with this episode is that it occurs at the exact same time as the season 2 episode Army.
Then we got to school, and I met my teacher Calypso. Well, hello.
And whilst we don't see that in this episode, The Adventure, the reason people believe this is because in the episode Army, when Jack first comes up to school, you can see Chloe and Bluey in the background going off on the adventure.
Oh no, ew.
I'm always like 50-50 on this theory, to be honest, because in the episode The Adventure, it is about the girls basically being within their own movie, so they're really focused on their storyline. You don't see anyone else except for those that are like important to the story until like towards the end, because then all of a sudden you see Calypso in the background with Bentley and Lara, yes, the twins who are from Bingo School. We'll talk about that in a second. So I think because we see them in the background, it means that there are people around. So perhaps this and the Army don't occur on the same day, but when Jack comes to school in the Army, the girls are just playing this game again or using the same costumes again. But let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think this happened on the exact same day, or that it's just another day and they're playing the game again?
Oh my, what rude fellows. Oh my, what rude fellows. Stop copying me this instant. Stop copying me this instant. Oh, silly terriers.
As for kind of the movie Easter eggs and references in this, the most obvious one, of course, is the fact that they changed the ratio of it. So right in that very first scene where we see the school, we go from our normal 16:9 ratio, and then it goes down into the actual cinematic ratio, which is 2:35:1. This again is meant to sort of make us feel like we are watching a Bluey movie, which I think is really cool. They also do this with the music as well. The music only plays during the movie part, but whenever the girls have to switch costumes, the music completely stops. So I think that also kind of helps the children watching this realize, I guess, what's happening as well, and to make it still feel like, you know, this is when they're playing the game and this is when they're just doing stuff outside of it.
What?
You're a faster runner than me, Bluey. Let's swap, okay?
It does, of course, also have a very Narnia theme. It's been a little while since I think of like which kind of like
So I feel like maybe Louis or Chloe might have had this game or this movie at some stage and turned it to stone. So I definitely think that like that's who the witch is kind of meant to represent in some ways, but also the
Yes,
fact that Chloe like is not born into royalty, just like in Narnia, where the kids aren't born into royalty. So in this episode, we find out that like the queen's not her mother. She's not siblings with all the other crying little princesses in there, because she says that she grew up on a farm.
This is the farm where I grew up. It will have lots of food for the kindly queen's babies.
And she never refers to the queen as mum or the siblings either for the little princesses.
I'll miss you ever so much. As will I, kindly queen.
So again, she's not born into royalty, she just becomes a princess and then has to be brave, of course. So I think that again kind of hints a little bit at Narnia too. I do love overall though the very like fantasy setting for this, and we know that Joe Brumm absolutely loves Dungeons and Dragons as well, because he talked about that in his own podcast about the episode Dragon. So I could definitely
Oh, this guy's slow.
There's all very like LARPing themes. But in talking about themes, let's take a deep dive into the actual proper themes of this episode, which I believe kind of like the lesson of it is the fact that you can be brave, and then you can also be brave enough to be who you want to be, or to change into whatever you need to be as well.
No, but I can't. I'm just a scared little princess. But you don't have to be. You can change into anything you want. Can I? Yes, you can.
Now, the first point where they kind of like very physically hit us on the head.
Persuaders mantiene tu bebé cómodo y seco. Ritz Zesty Earth flashbacks. Take Zesty to go anywhere and everywhere.
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance, so I only pay for what I need.
Cut it.
One note. What a messed up.
Only pay for what you need.
Oh, baby zombie, help me. Help me. Oh, scared. Ow!
MPD's resident genius. Are you familiar with Lance Duran, Crestwood Industries?
We will end world hunger forever.
Someone's trying to kill him. This will be a joint investigation with the FBI. So far,
What was in the box?
My position, you're gonna make enemies along the way. Someone's out for revenge. Not the first time something like that went down.
You know exactly where to cut. Someone's done it before.
Stop. Zoom in. Who is she?
But what do we add?
Well, actually are physically changing characters and changing costumes and things like that. They can be whoever they need to be within the story.
Let me be the princess for a second. I've got an idea. Okay.
The second part that kind of brings us home is the fact that the queen says to the princess that she has to be brave, and then also the fairy godmother is saying that, you know, she has the heart of a hero. And that's kind of pushing toward the idea that princesses can also be heroes too. Because the queen could have sent a knight out into the realm technically, or Chloe could have dressed up as a knight, but they decided to do it as a princess. And there is another look at this as well, the fact that the headdress for the princess that they're wearing, Costa Casab, one of the art directors of Bluey, did make a tweet about this and said that like it was on purpose that it was like this, like it was made to look very specifically medieval rather than like Disney princess kind of thing. And I love that extra little detail. Now, of course, this is really hammered home with the very end scene with Chloe and her dad in the car, and the fact that she thinks princesses is, you know, eating cake and tea in a castle, because the era when he grew up, yeah, that was very like more gender stereotypical of like what girls did, what boys did, what princesses did, what princes do. The fact that, like,
There was a kid out here all the time.
and then Chloe looks so offended, and then of course freezes him.
Oh, princesses, eh? Is that where you sit in a castle and have tea and cakes?
I think again that's when sort of bring it home that like that's not what this generation is about. They're learning that you can be whoever you want to be, and you can be brave whether you are a princess or a prince. And obviously we see it in this again with the terriers, which on a side note, they were censored out pretty much completely from the Southeast Asia version of Bluey, which was a surprise. They always have huge censorships. But like the arm jokes and telling Chloe to run, like that was all cut. Which is really sad because it brings home like a really important point, I think, of them showing like boys teasing girls, which is kind of one of the the first times we've really seen this in Bluey. But the fact that the girls can take the words of the boys and turn them around and I guess one up them almost in this point, but showing that like, you know, the words can't affect me, I can also show you that
Help me,
I can be smart and brave and again, showing that like girls can do what boys can do. So I did like that kind of added into it and it's a shame that that was censored in Southeast Asia.
Girls are strong, like King Kong. Boys are weak. Chuck them in the creek.
Now, going into the Easter eggs and hidden details in this episode, we did have 2 tennis balls. The first one, of course, pops across the screen for the title card. That is, of course, the main ball that we definitely see Chloe pulling out during the episode as well. Another little
I'm
detail
going to make a
I
ball.
missed is when they're about to leave the school and go out, we actually see some shots of hats in the background. These are like very
I don't know what I'm gonna do again.
stereotypical kind of
Like
bush
this.
hats or like Australian bush hats, I would say, like things that you would find at like Bunnings or like big fishing and camping kind of stores. But it was just like a nice little look. Like I saw it straight away. I was like, oh, Outback hat. So kind of funny that those are in there. Now, like I mentioned as well, we did have some inconsistencies because the twins were there for some reason. They both go to school with Bingo, and that school is nowhere near Bluey's school. So I think obviously this was just like an animation error. Like they just threw characters in the background because it's season 1 and weren't really thinking about the fact that they're at the wrong school. We do also get another little callback to the episode Horsey Ride where Chloe gets angry at Bluey for saying that horses can't talk.
Honey horse can't talk, remember? He just neighs. Oh yeah.
So I do love that we're continuing that joke that only dogs can talk in this universe and horses definitely cannot talk. And then last week's episode, of course, was the dog show when Bluey throws the ball and says, go get, and obviously Chloe just turns into a dog and gets distracted. It's a really funny gag and I love that they're adding like these dog elements to the show. So overall for me, this episode is honestly like a 4 out of 5, I would say. Like I really liked how it was a bit different. I thought it was really interesting what they did with it as well. And overall just thought the theme of the fact that princesses can do what they want, but also you as a person can be brave and change who you need to be. I think that's a really great message as well. But cheeky dogs, let me know
Oh my, no, help me.
thought of this episode, how many long dogs you would give it out of 5, and what you think of some of the theories about it as well. Until my next video though,
Nah, it was a close one.
subscribe and that bell for notifications so you know when that video comes out. But until then, I picked your cheeky dogs out a few other videos that maybe you would like to watch. And I'll see you all
I think I'm going
in the
back.
video. Bye! G'day you cheeky dogs, today we're going to be breaking down the Bluey episode Backpackers. We're going to be talking about the Easter eggs, the hidden Australian kind of details in this episode, some of the censorship with it, as well as why this episode was disliked by some people as well. G'day cheeky dogs, my name's Marky and I'm an Australian, currently living in America. But if you love Bluey as much as we do here, don't forget to hit that like button down below and that subscribe button and that bell for notifications so you know whenever I release any other Bluey themed videos. So let's get into Backpackers.
It's where you go on holiday and you carry everything you own in big backpacks. Can we play it? Yeah!
I want to talk about the Easter eggs first, in particular the Pixar.
This bridge looks mammy.
When the girls are walking along the market street, we actually see the famous Pixar ball in the background multiple times because obviously they're like walking back and forth. But this is one of the first ever real references to another We do of course have some of our traditional Easter eggs as well. We saw 3 tennis balls in total. So next to that Pixar ball, we also see 2 of the tennis balls, one in a little basket and one just out the front of it. And we also see another ball in the sandpit when Chili and I are like shaking out the girls and one falls out of Bingo. We also have a long dog as well when they are first walking into the shed. You can see the long dog down at the very bottom. It is a brown one just sitting up next to the bicycle. We also do have some little like dog details and jokes in this as well. So the first one is the guidebook that Chip's holding. Aside from the fact that it says like India on it, there's a little bone up the top is like the logo. But then also again when the girls are walking through that like market street, we see bones on one of the sheets in the background as well. The other little
Okay, I'm gonna put this on the horse.
is there's actually a picture
Thank you for
like
18 subs. Have a great day and goodbye.